morning, good morning, good morning. You know what today is? Monday Morning Chats with Sack, and Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a good weekend. Honestly, this past week was very, very eventful. So I'll just start from the beginning. So last Monday, it was President's Day, so I try to use that day to somewhat relax. And I got a chance to hang out with one of my best friends. And so anytime we go out, I always make reservations. So I'm always picking a spot. And I make reservations because I like things on my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, Lord knows I will forget. But the place that I had reservations for, they had a private party. And I didn't even know. So the restaurant allowed me to make reservations, but we couldn't go. But we found this new spot in Baltimore. So I'm like this foodie / gotta watch what I eat, but I still like food. And my goal is to try almost every restaurant in Baltimore. So I went to this one Italian spot. I think it's called the Casual Restaurant. Really good food. I had pasta. And I didn't have pasta in a while. So I was really eating some of my guilty pleasures. And I had chicken parmesan. So it was good. Then I hosted a event at my school. It was called the Appearance of Professionalism. I was able to get 4 of my colleagues to talk about this idea about professionalism. It's not just about appearance, but it's also about conduct. And it was a great event, well attended. The students really enjoyed listening to my colleagues, and they were able to get some good tips and information, and also maybe land a potential internship this summer. So after that, I didn't realize, after I hosted the event, I get extremely tired. I'm like, wow, I did a lot. And I decided to treat myself out to dinner. I went to this one place called Jimmy's Famous Seafood. And I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, listen, I'm really spontaneous. I'll wake up and say, hey, I want crabs, and I'm going to the nearest crab shack. That's me. I was like, maybe I need to communicate more what I'm doing so you can come with me, but I am out. So I went there, had some calamari. However, I realized that I don't eat a lot. And so anytime I go somewhere, I'm always eating a portion of it. I can't eat a lot. And that's from me just trying to stay slim thick, stay under 140. And that is what I've been doing. And then it was CIAA in Baltimore. I got a chance to hang out somewhat. I hung out, got a chance to link up with one of my cousins. And then I got a chance to link up with one of my friends, lives in DC. I was like, hey, he's always asking me, anytime he comes out here, where should I go to get a crab cake? One place that to get a crab cake from was close. I was like, hey, let's go to this place. And we just got a chance to talk, and I was like, listen, whoever you decide to be with, if they give you any problems, let me know. So we always had this running joke, whoever we decide to marry, if they cause us any problems, we could call each other. And so if he has someone, he knows that I'm trained to go. So I still love God, but I still got it in me where I'm trained to go. And it's nothing for me to punch this person in the face. So we got that running joke. So we always say, whoever you with, just make sure they do right by you because you deserve it. And so we always tell each other that, whoever you end up with, just know that you are a good person and they need to treat you right. So I got a chance to connect with that person. But he was like, hey, you hanging out? There's various parties. I was like, nah, I can't go out. I need to go home. I got a certain bedtime. And so I just say all those things to say, because it's going to allow me to talk about what I want to talk about today. So if I had to label this, it will be, it's okay to say no. And the second part is knowing where you're trying to go, right? What is your vision? Where are you trying to go? So my pastor, he's been doing this series on writing it down, and he was looking at this the Bible verse, Habakkuk chapter 2. So we've been going through Habakkuk chapter 2, and it's so dope because he alluded that to having vision boards. So I'm going to show you some vision boards that I have. I got a few of them, but they all have the same type of theme, so similar themes. So this one right here, I did this. I co-hosted a vision board party in 2019, right before the pandemic. And so this talks about healing, and God knew that I needed healing. But it's so funny how things worked out, because this poster board was done in December. I can tell you the date, December 30th, 2019. And I created this December 3rd, 2019. 2020, the pandemic happened. During 2020, both of my parents lived with me. And they are not together. It's just life happened. So they live with me. And I'm thankful that I was able to have the space to let them live with me. But healing happened while they lived there. And so this is what I wanted. And this is what I was looking forward to. So this was my vision. And I didn't know like creating this vision board would help me get to the place that I was trying to go to, which was healing. And shortly after I created this with, dealing with the pandemic, isolation from people, I went to therapy. And so this, like, actually having something, writing something down, like having something to look forward to, I can honestly say that it's very beneficial. So this therapy is everything, right? And then I created this one, trying to figure out when I created this one. I created this. I co-hosted another vision board party January 10th, 2021. And that's when I started therapy. And honestly, that year really focused on my happiness and the things that I really wanted. I had various events where I cooked for people, and it had something here. They'll remember you how much you love them by dinner. So that's my way to express how I care about somebody, by making them dinner. But it just really talks about the things that I wanted, like having power, let your light shine, and beauty, and own it, and being who you are, loving yourself, peace, love, knowing that I had the power within me, right? So all these things, it just really talked about my 2021 year, right? Really talked about those things and how, like, I used it. I didn't know that the things that I have on this, it actually manifested, right? Making sure I love myself more. What does self-love mean, and what does that look like? Letting people go, walking from things or people that don't serve me. And so when you write things down, it makes the vision clearer. So if I had to talk about like the first aspect of what I wanted to say about saying no. So by, it's one thing to have vision boards, right? And the goal is, when you have a vision board, is to pretty much write out, because you can have a vision board where you're writing out things, or you can have a vision board where there's pictures or images of things that you want to eventually, I guess, manifest. But what I found is that if you have a vision board and these are the things that you want, then what are you doing to work towards it, right? What are you doing to work towards it? So you had this idea how you want your life to be. And if you are a believer, you have this vision of how you want things to happen, how things you want to manifest. Are you really walking in that, right? Or you're just making this poster because it looks good and it's a good idea. But I truly believe that you can really have the desires of your heart. You just have to believe and know that you deserve it, right? You have to really believe and know that you deserve it. So I'm working on this list about different things I want God to do in my life and different things that I just want. 300, right? 300 things. And it's something that I got this is something that I discussed in therapy, but it's also from Steve Harvey. So there's a video where he talks about, write about 300 things that you want to happen in your life. So when I talk about it's okay to say no, when I think about my vision board, right? I think about the vision boards. I have several of them, right? And so it's so funny that these two vision boards are actually in my home office, right? This is my home office I'm in. My other vision board is in my prayer closet. So I pray over it because those are the things that I really want to happen. And so when I think about my vision boards and I think about the 300 things that I want to happen in my life, it's a little easy for me to say no, right? No, I can't go there. No, I can't accept this invitation. No, I don't want to be with you. Hey, no, we can't be friends. Or no, this doesn't make sense, right? Because I know exactly where I want to go and I'm okay. And I was telling my therapist, I was like, at one point in my life, I was afraid to, like, I knew how to say no, but I just kept thinking about how would I make this other person feel if I deny their invitation, or if I say, hey, the relationship is over, or if I say, hey, I can't go there with you, or hey, I don't want to sign up for this class, or hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And I always thought about how would this person feel? But then what I realized is that, hey, if I am being myself, if I am being my authentic self, and I am mindful of my delivery, no is a complete sentence. I don't have to explain it because it's not aligned to the things that I want. And I've been having these deep conversations with God recently, like, God, I just want to be around those things that are aligned with me. Things are not aligned, they could be distractions. So God, if there's any distractions in my life, please remove them, because that's not the vision. That's not the things that I wrote down on in my journal. Those aren't the things that I envision on my vision board. These are not the things that I've been praying to you about. So because they're not aligned, I want you to remove those things out my life. And it's funny because my cousin thinks that when I will tell her certain things, she's like, did you really say that? And I was like, yes. And the thing that I told her is that I am assertive. And yes, I can be mindful of what I say. And I'm still working on, like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. It's never my intentions. I said, but when would you get to the point where things need to be said? That's like someone buying you an outfit and you don't like it at all. Are you going to say, thank you, this is really nice? Or are you going to say, hey, thank you, but, this doesn't suit me? Like, for me, I tell my mom all the time, don't buy me no clothes. My mom buys clothes that's extra large for me, doesn't fit me. I'm like, Mom, I lost over 20 pounds. I can't fit an extra large. I wear a size small. Like, I can't fit that. Right. And so when do you get to the point where you're able to, like, really speak your truth and say, hey, this doesn't suit me. This doesn't work out for me. CIAA was in Baltimore this weekend. And I came home at a certain time. I was like, I don't want to be out. I was like, I'm home. I was home by like 9:30. I was like, yeah, nah. I don't need to be out there. It's cool, but I partied enough growing up. I don't need to do that anymore. Like, it's cool. Like, I go out if it's like a special occasion, but it's not a special occasion to me, CIAA. It's just not. And I was okay. I got asked, like, hey, you want to go to a party? Got asked to go to, I was like, nah, it's okay. It's not what I want. That's not the life that I want, right? And so I have on my vision boards a life that I want, and my goal is to make sure that I stay on track. So it's easy for me to say no. It's easy for me to tell people no. Like, I can't, I had to decline your invitation. And that's absolutely okay. But what I realize is that even like reading this book and then really talking to God, it's like, once you really know who you are, it makes it easier to say no. It makes it easier to say, you know what? I don't want that, right? It's funny because, some people will say, I don't think you have fun. Like, I don't think you have fun, Sakina, and I think you should have fun. And I'll always ask them, well, how do you define fun? Because your idea of having fun will be different than mine. And just because we define it differently, it doesn't mean that I'm not having fun. I don't have to get drunk or smoke to have fun. I don't smoke. That's not my thing. I have friends that do it. That's fine. Do what you want to do. But my fun and somebody else's fun is totally different. And just because it's different, it doesn't mean that I'm not having fun. So if something is not fun to me, it's okay for me to decline your invitation and say, hey, this is not for me. One of my colleagues, I just found it so funny how people perceive me. And one of my colleagues called me Professor Good Girl. And, he had a party, was inviting folks. I was like, Sakina, I really want to invite you. But I know that you're a good girl. And we may be doing some things in this house that I know that you don't do. I want to invite you, but I don't think it's something that you will want to do. And I respected my colleague for sharing it with me because, one, that shows me that he respects me. Two, it shows that he knows that I'm not with the nonsense, right? Not with the nonsense. But he was okay if I declined his invitation. I was like, well, what are you guys doing? And he was like, I was like, well, it's going to be a no, right? It's going to be a no. And we're cool. I don't have to explain why I'm going to say no. You already know that I don't do the certain things that you do. We still cool. We cool. But I don't do the same things that you do. And so when you had this idea, the things that you want, and I had conversations with people like, hey, we just not aligned. And most times, like, when people hear that term, like, we're not aligned, sometimes they equate that to, well, we just not a really good fit. It's not, it's more than that. Especially from a Christian aspect, like, it's not more than that, but like, it's like mixing milk and oil. It's not going to ever mix. And a line is just like, you guys are headed in the same direction. Not a line, you guys are going two separate ways. And just because you're going two separate ways, it doesn't mean that your way is better than the other. It's just that you guys are not going to ever connect. And that's okay. That's with romantic relationship. That's what platonic friendships. You're just not going to ever connect. But my therapist said something to me today that really, really made me think. She was like, explain the difference between your childhood friends and your adult friends. Do you find a difference? I said, absolutely. And I told her, I was like, my childhood friends, they met me when I was young and I was still trying to figure out who I was. And they met the child that had trauma, that hadn't dealt with the trauma, right, as a child. I mean, I fought a lot growing up, and that's something that if you knew me growing up, that's all you know. You know me as fighting, and I was never the troublemaker, but I got in trouble because I was defending myself. But my adult friends, they see the mature Sakina. They see the Sakina now that will walk away from a fight. They see the Sakina now that's saved. They see the Sakina now that I'm a leader in my church. And I could be honest that if you met me when I was 13, yeah, I was going to church, but I was fighting a lot. So you met me when I was 13 and I still had childhood trauma that I didn't even know really existed until I got older and it was showing up. But as an adult, I was able to handle that. Thank God from prayer and therapy, because I truly believe you need God and therapy. You just can't just pray your way through things. You need to sit down and talk to somebody. But my adult friends, they are special because they're able to see the woman that I always wanted to become. And I am that. And we're able to connect on things because I'm able to become the woman that I always prayed to be. And I am that. I'm able to now meet women that are like-minded. When I was a child, I had friendships where most of them we had similarities. Some of my friends grew up in single parent households, right? Our mothers were raising us. Our fathers were in our life, but they didn't live in a household, which made a major difference. And I could probably count on maybe out of my close friends, maybe 2 of my friends, maybe out of 8, had their fathers in their household. And it played a major difference. But the ones I connected with was the ones where they didn't have the father in their household. And we're all successful, and I'm able to share this now, but I remember telling my father, and I would hear people say, like, because my father wasn't in the household, I did these things. I remember telling my dad straight, like, looking him right in his face. I was like, my mistakes I made with any guy in my life, I would never blame you. That was me. I said, I can take responsibility and say that was me. I would never blame you for that. I'm grown enough to make decisions. But yeah, and so when she asked me, I'm just like, wow, like just looking at the woman I've become and realizing that my childhood friends and my adult friends, they're able to see 2 different Sakinas. And so my goal is now, what I pray is that my childhood friends, they see the growth in me, right? They see the God in me. They see the loving in me. They see the vulnerability in me. Because those things make up who I am now. I didn't know what it was like to be vulnerable when I was 13. I didn't know that. But at 36 now, I do. And I know how important that is. But it goes back to the vision that I have for my life. Looking at my vision boards, writing things down in my journal about what I want God to do in my life. Those things are important. So it's easy for me to say no. It's easy for me to say no to friendships. Like, yeah, I mean, we cool. Like, maybe we like crabs. Like, maybe like my favorite spirit is tequila. Maybe we like tequila. But we still not aligned. Like, we still don't have we don't have common goals. Like, there's nothing in common with us at all. And one thing I tell people is that my friendship is not based on profession. I could be friends with a janitor, right? And any janitor at any institution that I work with, I treated them the same way like I treated a CEO. I don't treat them no differently. But your friends, like, you know, when you start to grow and you start to become the person you always pray to, sometimes you will see friendships go left. Sometimes you'll see people fall away because they're so used to the old you. They're so used to the trauma you. That's why that trauma bonding is real. They're so used to that when you break free and you become this better person, they can't relate to you anymore. And they may think you acting different. No, it's not that I'm acting different. I just want it better. Right? And so it's easy for me to say no to the invitations that people ask of me, because I'm like, hey, this is not it. This is not what I want, right? Not what I want. But back to the vision, right? So think about if you have vision boards, and I'll show you my vision board again. Happiness. This is one of them, 2021. Did I do one? I did one last year in Bible study, and I did this one in 2019. Did this one. My first vision board I did was in December 30th, 2018. I wrote that I wanted a house on there, how education was important to me, how I desire marriage, how I desire like to be closer to God, like mostly all those things like just start to like come to pass. And so if you have a vision board, like don't just do a vision board because it looks good and you have all these little images on a poster, but what are you doing to make those visions become your reality? Again, you can really have the desires of your heart, but if you just posting things on a poster board and you're not moving, you're not doing anything to make it happen, what's the purpose of a vision board, right? Like vision boards are like this popular thing. People are hosting vision board parties to talk about your vision, but what are you doing to get there? So here's what I do. So one, I have these visions that I want. So therapy is a little different than when I first went to therapy. The first time in therapy is like healing, like letting it all out and like, okay, now I am free, skin clear, lost weight, all those other things like just happened like over the last 2 years, like going to therapy, removing myself from things or people that no longer serve me, focusing on God more, losing weight. Thank God. I need to make sure I stay in the gym because I do not want to be close to being a big girl. That's just me. Skin getting clearer. Like there's no filter. There's no makeup. Like just skin getting clearer. Just being really clear on my intentions and what I want. And then now with therapy now, like I'm talking about the things that help me get towards my vision is that I have a therapist where it's deeper than just healing, but it's more so like really understanding who you are and accepting it. So now when I have conversation with my therapist, it's just like, girl, let me tell you what I've learned. Let me tell you what I worked on. Let me tell you how I used to be. Let me tell you about the shame and guilt that I felt at one point in my life. Let me tell you how God really helped me. But let me tell you how the therapy when I first went, how it really changed me. And this therapy now is like really expressing about who I am, the changes I have made. But that also helps me understand people. Understand, people that I interact with. Also helps me understand students, because as a professor, I'm also a counselor. Students cry to me. They pour out their heart to me. They tell me everything. They trust me. So I need an outlet. And so when this vision, I tell my therapist a vision that I have, and she holds me accountable. I have a best friend and this is a friend that I'm able to tell like everything to, like every single thing. And this person holds me accountable. And it goes back to my vision and the things that I want. And my friend would tell me, well, that's not what you said, right? And this person got receipts, like we'll go back to will go back to text messages I sent like, well, you said on this date that you was going to do this and you not doing it now. Like, so what's going on? And so I need those type of people. Like, I realize like those are the type of people that I need in my life, because if I have this vision, I got to move forward. Then I want to make sure I'm in different groups, right? Different communities that's able to cultivate this vision that I want. Maybe they're already there and they're trying to get me to the promised land, but they get it and it makes sense. So that's why it's easy for me to say no to things and yes to things that I need. Like, so now I'm like, yes, I want this. Yes, I want that. Yes, I want this. I don't need to tell you why I don't need this. The answer is just still no. But it makes it a little easier, right? I got people that hold me accountable. I got a therapist that's like a girlfriend. Like, and the thing I love about therapy is like we talk about things. We also involve God in every conversation. And I'll be telling her scripture and she's like, oh, that helped me. Like, she helps me, but I also help her. And she'll send me like sermons like, hey, you should listen to this. And then the next therapy session, we talking to them. I'm like, let me tell you how this blessed my life. And let me tell you how I sent that sermon to another girlfriend that was going through something that I think that it should bless her too. And let me tell her how I told her how to read this book that's going to bless her life. And so you got to think about the vision, right? What's your vision, right? What do you want? We talk about marriage. She told me about her marriage. She told me about her divorce. And she would tell me like, hey, if a wife is something that you want, you don't become a wife when you get married. You already are a wife. And so she said, you got to walk in that. I was like, oh, girl, I am. So we talk about those things. And she's like, well, if you're already a wife, you got to ask yourself, where are you putting yourself at? Like, what spaces are you putting yourself at? And you should always ask yourself. So I get convicted if I'm like somewhere, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. I'm out. I don't got to give an explanation. I'll text them. I'm like, hey, I had to leave. Have a good time. I got to go. It's getting late. I feel ratchet happening here. There's some type of feeling that's coming over me. This energy, I don't like it at all. But yeah, so if you desire to be something, especially if you desire marriage, I feel like you're already that. Like, if you want to be a husband, I feel like you're already that. You just don't have the ring yet. Or if you want to be a wife, I feel like you're already that before you get married. But the question is, the vision that you have for this role, this vision that you have for your life, what are you doing now to cultivate that lifestyle that you want, to cultivate that vision that you want? Like, I can't hang with everybody I used to hang with. Be cool, I still love you, but you don't want the same things I want. I ain't trying to turn up like that. No. I ain't trying to do that. You got a section? I'm going to show my face. I'm going to support you. I'm going to be there. I'm going to pay my portion in the section. But I ain't trying to be there till 3 a.m. I got church in the morning, right? So, when you start thinking about the vision, you start thinking about the things you want, you start telling your life to that. So I tell my cousins, like, hey, I can't stay out real late. Like, I really got church in the morning. And it's actually like my saving grace. Like, I can't stay out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Technically I can still wake up and go to church. But one, I may be so tired and I'm really not going to hear the word. Number 2, my church is like 45 minutes away. So if I'm not getting enough sleep, can I really drive on the road? Maybe not. So I just pray that whatever vision that you have for your life, know that it will manifest, but you have to really work towards it. Like, you just can't put all these images on a vision board or write stuff down and just say, hey, it's going to happen. But how is going to happen if you're not really working towards it? So I just pray that you implement action and implement action now. Say no to the things that has no value to you. Say no to people that have no value to you. Say no to things that doesn't serve you. Say no to people that don't serve you. And it will make your life better. And it will be this big burden off your back. So what are you doing now to make that happen? What are you doing? That's all I have. I pray that this Monday brings you so much peace, so much love, so much light. I pray that you're around people that cultivate and create safe spaces for you where you could be your authentic self and you can be vulnerable and you can truly express how you feel without feeling any game without any shame or guilt. I pray that you're around people that love you for exactly for who you are, but also hold you accountable and also check you when you're not doing things correctly. My brother, we just got off the phone and he told me he's brutally honest with me. I don't like saying brutally honest. That's his terms. I like to be honest. I believe my brother's my best friend and we check each other in private. Like if he did some crazy stuff around people, I'm like, I'll give him this look or I'll text him like, hey, we want to talk. And we talk on the phone like, hey, what you did was foul. Let me tell you why. But he can tell that to me. Or he can say, Sakina, you fucked up on this. Or he'll tell me like, yo, that person need to leave you. Like he will tell me those things. But those are the things that I need to hear, because if I have this vision of things that I want in my life, not just about my personal life, but also business and other aspects of my life, I need someone that's going to hold me accountable. So I just hope that you put yourself around people that doesn't always say yes to you. Because how can you really grow? How can you really grow if people say yes to you? So I pray that you're around people that say, no, that's not cool. No, you shouldn't do that. I pray that you're around those type of people. My prayer is that you just never forget the vision that you have for yourself, even if it doesn't come to pass according to your time. God's timing is always the best time. And so the things that you want in your life, it's going to come to pass, but you just got to be faithful and just know that it's going to happen. You're just not sure when. I pray that you love yourself a little bit more and look in the mirror and be happy with the person that you see. When I went out this past Saturday, I found it so awkward. Like, I didn't know how to dress for this event. Like, I didn't know. Like, I just knew that it was at the stadium, M&T Stadium. I had a nice sweater on. I had knee boots on. Had my hair curled. My hair is not done, like, really not right now. But that's the beauty of, like, having short hair. Like, you could just wake up and go. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm in a house and I'm working from home. So that's why I look like this. But I remember, like, walking around in the M&T Stadium, hanging out with my cousins. And I remember guys complimenting me, giving me compliments on what I look like. I didn't have any makeup on. Still don't have any makeup on. But they were like, you have natural beauty. But I was comfortable in my own skin. I was like, I like to get dolled up, but I didn't feel like it. Like, I was comfortable in my own skin. And it makes me wonder and question why people are not comfortable with who they are. Yeah, dude, wear makeup. That's fine, all that. But it just caught me off guard when I was getting compliments like, yeah, I'm seeing all these women with all this makeup on and you don't have that. And I just find that very attractive. And like a guy was telling me like all of that, like everything you have going on, all of that. But I wonder, can we look ourselves in the mirror and say, all of this is bomb. All of this is amazing. All of this is handsome. All of this is beautiful. Can we really look at ourselves and say that? Or do we wait till somebody else give us that compliment? And so I just hope and pray that you just love who you are. Just love every ounce. At one point in my life, I didn't love myself. I had crooked teeth. I used to get teased. I beat up the kids because of that. But now you can't tell me anything. You can't tell me that I'm not beautiful, because I feel it within myself. But I'm not waiting for somebody to give me this compliment. I'm comfortable with a hoodie. I don't need to be dressed up all the time. If I do, yeah, that's fine. And I would tell my girlfriends, I told my brother this the other day. I was like, I'm confident in who I am as a person, where I can go out with this on and I can still pull somebody's son. And so the question becomes, are you confident in who you are, knowing that, hey, this is all me and I am okay with this? And if not, what's the vision for you to love yourself? What are the steps are you going to take to love exactly who you are? What are you going to do? The choice is yours. You can make a vision board about self-love, but none of that stuff doesn't even matter if you're not even working towards it. You could say, yeah, I love me, and you could say all these affirmations, but do you really feel it in your soul and say, hey, I really do love myself? Like, I can be flirtatious at times. I can joke my friends like I'm a comedian, but I'll make jokes. I'm like, I could have a hoodie on the scarf. I'll still pull somebody's son. Straight like that. But I'm confident and know, like, this is who I am. I'm okay without makeup. I'm good with makeup, but I'm good with who I am. I look myself in the mirror and say, hey, I love me. But can you do that? And so I just pray, and I really pray that say no to things that don't serve you. Make the vision clear and stick to it. To all the dope men out there, it is Monday, so I just hope and pray that you just have an amazing day. I just hope that you never forget that you are amazing, you are dope, you are intelligent, you are smart, and never let somebody take that away from you. And I do hope that people create space for you to express how you feel. You deserve to be vulnerable. You deserve for people to create safe spaces for you. That's all I have. Have a good day. Tell a friend to follow my YouTube channel. It's Sakina Tillman Esquire. I post all these Monday morning chats on there. So my goal is to bless somebody. If I'm able to bless you, then I did my job. Take care, guys. Bye.